As it turns out, Valve has been working away in the background, preparing SteamOS for its promised official wide release. So I think now is as good a time as any to see what the experience is like if you download SteamOS and throw it on your PC. It's also a good time to learn about our sponsor. I do believe that they're going to get there though, especially if Microsoft decides they want to risk their market share by forcing their store on everyone, or if they keep making unreasonable hardware demands. Now I think all that's left is to unreasonably demand that you hear this message from our sponsor. Here's a little chart that we made with the speeds and feeds that they shared for all the new chips. Completely lost? Yeah, that's what I thought. But hey, maybe I should be thanking AMD for all the free views that I'm gonna get from all the confused people who just wanna know what the heck they're actually buying. Let's get into it then, after this word from our sponsor. Knowing all this stuff, it's like my job, and even I'm having a hard time keeping it all straight. We literally made a video just last year about AMD's trash naming scheme and how to decipher it, and now it's completely out of date and we're gonna have to do it again. Super cool. Super cool, like this cool segue to our sponsor.
Probably want to see it.
Well, no sooner did I say that than some burly guys in green showed up and said, all right, you cynical tech-tipping son of a bitch, we're gonna show it to you right now, but you gotta do the thing. The thing, I said? Yeah, the thing. Oh, right, the thing. The segue to our sponsor. Finally, last but not least, they surprised everyone, including Nintendo, by announcing the Switch 2. I'm kidding, I know that didn't happen. Anyway, that's it. The nearly 2-hour keynote ended and I had just enough time after trying the RTX 5090 to give you this segue to our sponsor. Think about it. Why would you excite colored quantum dots with blue light to make color when you can just produce the desired color in the first place? The level of saturation that they're achieving here defies any expectations that I could have had. Just like I'm gonna saturate your ears with this message from our sponsor. There's so much more here at the show this year. Stretchable micro LEDs from the major players for automotive and other commercial applications. There's that weird battery-powered TV that suction cups to the wall for reasons. But those will have to wait for another day and another segue to our sponsor. Which got us thinking, what better place to collect all the Pokemon than here at CES? So we tasked our team with tracking down every possible variant of the RTX 5090 to show you guys some of these wild designs. And we tracked down our sponsor. Wow, I don't know if I was expecting all of the designs to be that different. But what I was expecting was this segue to our sponsor. That's a lot. Now there's no support for HDR at this time. That's gonna have to wait for their upcoming HDR-capable micro OLED headset later this year. But to improve their contrast at least, they've got 1,000 local dimming zones per eye. I can't wait to try this. And neither can our sponsor. I don't know which one to choose, but what I do know is it's an exciting time to be a VR enthusiast again. And it's exciting to tell you about our sponsor.
It is very expensive, but you don't want your games to look ugly, do you, man? Ugly? Like you?
Well, I guess not. But I don't have enough money for a new GPU. What can I do?
It's easy. You just need to find a sponsor. Like our sponsor.
I'm choosing to see it kind of like the hint of a whisper of a twinkle of a bright light at the end of a very expensive, albeit beautifully lit tunnel. Speaking of the light, I can see it. No, wait, that's just a segue to our sponsor. This thing's gotta be what? A quarter of the volume of what we built before? And if the spec page is to be believed, we'll be making basically no compromises to performance. Perhaps the best part is you can just buy one of these online, no weird modifications required. Check this out. I can even fit our sponsor in there. There it is. Commuter backpack, no Pelican case required. Oh, this says weigh it. Here we go.
With a water bottle?
Not bad.
How full is it?
Full. 24 pounds.
That's pretty awful.
And here's a 24-pound segue to our sponsor. Let's begin the adventure of sorting through it all.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
No way. Did we get a Switch too early? Of course. It's our sponsor. As long as the game libraries overlap, is kind of what the Switch 2 does. At the end of the day though, as someone who pays for my games, I can't wait to get my hands on the Switch 2 when it comes out later this year. Just like I can't wait to tell you about our sponsor. Science. We are going to fully investigate this thing with our EMF chamber, our CT scanner, and our RF meter. Some serious equipment that costs some serious money. Maybe more seriousness than this deserves. And we're gonna do it with some help from our sponsor. But what I can do is I can tell you that this and anything short of this is complete horse snake oil. So turn your router off, but then you wouldn't see this segue to our sponsor.
So if you're on 30 series and still not in the mega baller income bracket, I guess all we can do is wait and see.
See if Linus has the strength to do this segue.
To our sponsor.
There are a lot of employees here at Linus Media Group.
And while yes, most of us are gamers and computer enthusiasts,
even more of us have passions for tech that extends beyond a keyboard and mouse.
We each have brought one of our personal favorite tech items to show off to you guys.
And even share a story about why we enjoy them so much.
But not before we share the segue to our sponsor.
For my show and tell, I decided to bring in this segue to our sponsor.
So let's get into it and see who's gonna be the undisputed intercontinental champion of controllers. Just like I am the undisputed intercontinental champion of Segue. To our sponsor. Freaking outstanding, both in terms of value and in terms of overall performance and features.
Yep.
Yeah, this compared to an Xbox or a Switch Pro controller, please. Please, let me tell you about our sponsor.
But just because you appear on screen with some of the hottest hardware on the planet
doesn't mean that's what you go home to.
So what does our team run at home?
Solid gaming rigs?
Home-built servers? AI dev mules? The hell's an AI dev mule?
How about all of the above? But before we get to that,
I hope you enjoyed this
jankly
cobbled together segue
to our sponsor.
And if you don't mind the weirdness of generated frames, maybe NVIDIA's onto something with the neural rendering stuff.
We're gonna tell you more about it after I neurally render a better way to sell your used hardware. That NVIDIA can neurally render some more innovative ideas before they suffer the same eventual fate that Intel did. Just like I'm gonna neurally render this segue to our sponsor. What? You expected an AI to come up with a new segue? I mean, it was trained on my segue to our sponsor.